Years ago, I hosted a series highlighting one of my favorite mangakas, Yu Watase. She's one of the most iconic shoujo drama mangakas, creating unforgettable classics such as Fushigi Yugi, Ayashi no Seres, and Absolute Boyfriend. The series I made reviewed all of her works at that time, with me highlighting one of my most favorite mangas of all time, Alice 19th. At this time, 4 of her stories got official adaptations. One of them was a live-action adaptation of Absolute Boyfriend. Yeah, that was something. And the 3 that got anime adaptations were Fushigi Yugi, Ayashi no Seres, and Arata Kangatari. Though one time she went shonen, and it got mixed reviews. Goddamn. The years rolled by, with my beloved Alice 19th not receiving the attention I believe it deserved. I accepted the reality that it would never happen, as older titles tend to be ignored for newer, more popular titles. I say this, and yet Parasyte received an anime adaptation that was produced 25 years after the manga made its debut. But yeah, that was just a blip in the universe. It's not really common to give older titles their own shows, though. Oh? Hana Kimi, another manga that received their debut into anime 20 years later. I mean, it was only a matter of time since it had several popular live-action adaptations. Ah, memories. But yeah, I don't expect any sort of miracle and Red River, a classic manga getting its own anime adaptation 30 years later? You know what? I'm done waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my campaign to give this manga an anime. In the world of Alice 19th, there was once a gentle leader preaching the words of light known as Lotus. Lotus words have the power to enlighten all, giving strength and hope to those in need. One of his closest disciples, however, suddenly became influenced by the darkness, corrupting those around him and creating words of chaos and darkness itself, Marum. Since then, it has been a never-ending war between darkness and light. The embodiment of darkness, Daruvia, spreads seeds of doubt and malice to vulnerable humans facing dark situations. So, Lotus Masters are born to ease the hearts of those in doubt, or to just eliminate the seeds of darkness itself, decreasing any chance of Daruvia manifesting. The Lotus Preacher cared for a rabid child known as Nyozuka, and she's been tasked to find incredibly gifted Lotus Masters who are destined to find the lost words that can instantly seal Daruvia away for good. Now in modern Tokyo, Nyozuka senses a potential guardian that could possibly be the future master she's looking for. So, she lures her out by jumping into traffic. I would make a joke saying that's a smart bunny right there, but to her credit, this actually works, and we see our main character, Alice Seno, jump into action to save her. Alice is a shy, extremely introverted student who doesn't really stand up for herself. She's very easygoing, goes with the flow, and tries to make others happy, even at her own expense. Her older sister, Mayura, is the complete opposite. She's the popular girl in school, incredibly smart and athletic, sparking favoritism and attention from her parents. Basically, this is the typical golden child and scapegoat relationship, if you will. Life is just going perfect for Mayura, as she's ready to confess her feelings towards her classmate, Kyo Wakamiya. The only issue, though, is Alice also has feelings for Kyo.
What an unbelievable coincidence!
Seeing this predicament, Nyozuka presents herself to Alice and introduces her to the world of Lotus. Since Alice was brave enough to save her, she now wields the Lotus word for courage, Rangu, so she tries to encourage Alice to face her fears and confess her feelings to Kyo using her newfound courage. The last thing Alice wants, though, is to cause drama and hurt anyone's feelings, especially her sister's. With all of these repressed feelings though, she finds herself in an argument with her sister over a misunderstanding. Feeling frustrated with her feelings and with this argument with her sister, Alice starts an unforgettable chain of events with just one sentence.
Sis, I hate you. I wish you would just disappear.
Mayura suddenly finds herself in the realm of darkness, as Alice scrambles to figure out how to save her. The main issue, however, is that Mayura is now surrounded and encased by influencers of Marum, manipulating her into believing that Alice purposefully did all of this just to steal Kyo away. Now Alice and Kyo must work together to save Mayura from the darkness as they learn how to become Lotus Masters. So this can come off as a typical good versus evil, light versus darkness, good sister versus bad sister drama llama story we've seen a bunch of times before. But Alice 19th has a lot more packed in its story than just those typical formulas. It starts standard enough when we know there's a dark influence encouraging all of humanity to behave negatively. So you might think that all of our characters have to do is just study a few words, believe in the heart of the cards, and save the world. Right? But the thing about Alice 19th is it doesn't just make the rules all black and white. The Masters of Light must be strong enough both physically and mentally to face anything the Masters of Darkness have in store, but if there's one thing that is constantly thrown at their faces repeatedly, and tends to be the Light's downfall, is this: none of their hearts are free from darkness. Alice, for example, may be a shy and timid girl, but her suppressing her own feelings caused this battle to begin with. Again, Alice never wanted to hurt anyone, but she never had the courage to express how she felt, since she feared it would cause more harm than good. I don't necessarily blame her for blowing up at her sister though. All her life she's been the kid sister being looked after by others, while her sister was the center of attention. She was fine with the way things were until she was confronted by Mayura. Okay, where's the tea, lady?
Now, pour the tea.
Look, I'm gonna try to be as TLDR as possible, but a little context here.
Some context.
Set the scene!
Mayura confesses to Kyo. He's hesitant, but ends up giving the relationship a shot because why not? Yeah, you're gonna learn along the way that Kyo can be a bit thick-headed. We still love him. Anyways, Mayura is happy until she discovers Kyo's photo under Alice's pillow.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Noticing how Kyo talks about Alice a lot, Mayura tried the sensible route by setting her sister up with another classmate.
What could possibly go wrong?
This cannot possibly fail, now can it? Especially since she didn't do her research. And even Kyo acknowledged that the classmate she chose was a bit of a wild card, cause yeah, let's just say he's not too familiar with the word consent. It's a good pick there, Mayura, good job there. And once Kyo notices Alice in distress by this guy, ooh, my man! He suddenly pushes the guy away from Alice in a way that really shocked Mayura. Like, she's never seen this side of Kyo before. So naturally, instead of analyzing what happened and discussing this with Kyo and Alice, Mayura is downright blaming Alice for what just happened.
This is so typical of you. You never express yourself. You keep everything inside. Sis, I was just trying to... You only make things worse when you try to hide your feelings. He was just... You made trouble for Kyo too. He's such a gentleman. He only got into that fight because you're my little sister.
This then provokes Alice into wishing her sister would just disappear. While we know Alice could have never have comprehended her words causing such a thing to happen, what she said still carried weight. Did she mean it? Not necessarily, just her emotions were pushed to their limit, and it caused a very harsh outburst. Alice keeps thinking that Mayura doesn't understand her and is choosing not to, but was Mayura wrong for saying all of that? Alice held everything back just to make everyone else around her happy, but also to avoid any form of confrontation. She doesn't want to cause a fuss, she just chooses to suppress her needs and wants, which only leads to massive miscommunication and gargantuan misunderstandings. Regardless of how she learns and grows from this situation, can she have the right to call herself a Lotus Master? It was her words and inactions that caused this giant mess to begin with, so how can she preach the words of light when she contributed to Mayura's destructive path? But Alice isn't the only one Mayura misunderstands, as Kyo is far from being the perfect gentleman she assumes he is. Kyo is cool and collected. A bit dense in a few things here and there, but he means well and he's assumed to be the perfect gentleman. He's a bit like Alice, however, with keeping his feelings to himself in order to just go with the flow. The last thing he wants is to cause any sort of drama, not just to himself, but to his family. His mother tragically died from poor treatment and abuse, while his father suddenly disappeared afterwards, leaving Kyo at the hands of his family. Naturally, they want nothing to do with him as they assume he'll turn out to be an abusive alcoholic just like his father. Family. Yay. That is until his mom's younger brother takes him in to live with him and his wife. Unfortunately, Kyo sees himself as a burden and doesn't want to cause trouble to the only people who were willing to take him in. But because of his upbringing, he doesn't like feeling powerless when others are in trouble. He has every good intention of wanting to protect other people, but he has an aggressive way of doing so. Seeing people suffer and being bullied under his watch triggers him with memories of his own mother getting abused. So he reacts instantly to protect the targeted victim, but in a very violent manner. He even went as far as to nearly kill a student just because they were bullying a weak student. While Kyo strives to do better and grow stronger in order to protect others, the darkness will always remind him of his past and his violent tendencies. There's also another contributing factor to his father's disappearance, which I will not spoil here. Read it yourself, but it's another element the darkness will use to dissuade Kyo's fortitude. Does he have the strength to fight the darkness, or will he succumb to being just like his father? He's shown to have violent tendencies, so it's only natural to assume that he'll fail. Even with the aid and guidance from other Lotus Masters, it's pretty clear that they all have their own sins to face. Frey is very blunt yet positive, trying to guide Alice and Kyo to become true Lotus Masters. But he's got a severely dark past he tries very hard to move on from, even though deep down inside, he still blames himself. Christopher made a hasty decision in his past that ultimately changed his future and the reputation of his estate. So he finds himself questioning his own strength while facing the consequences of his actions. Eric is the one who found Frey and taught him the ways of the Lotus Words, but despite knowing better, he succumbs to envy when his young student surpasses his own abilities. And I'm just gonna stop right there because again, spoilers. Okay, yeah, I know, I shouldn't care because this thing came out 25 years ago, but I'm trying to give this manga a fighting chance, man. Anyways, you would think these Lotus Masters would just use their magical words to grow past their mistakes, but these are sins that still cling to their hearts, which the darkness does not hesitate to use to their advantage. But from what I've learned about the Mara Masters is that they're not just using these invasive tactics to win, each of them feel compelled to seek validation. Every Mara Master, okay, maybe not that one, I'm not spoiling him either, he's just very random, I'm gonna put it that way, but yeah, I'm also not gonna talk about that one, because again, spoilers. But anyways, most of the Mara Masters found themselves in emotional situations that made them prime targets of darkness. Samuel was a gifted singer highly praised for his God-given talent. This led to other students feeling envious towards him and... Oh! His entire future is disrupted permanently because of other people's jealousy. Goddamn. Then we have Kana. She lost her husband to another woman. When she desperately asked him to come back, the affair partner had the gall to say to her face,
Look in the mirror, you old bag.
She was abandoned by the one person she loved, all because she was getting older. Both of them were distraught. They lost everything and had no one to help them heal, except the darkness. Marum planted the seeds of anger and vengeance in their hearts, thus converting them straight to darkness. With their powers, they can have the vengeance they seek, but at the same time, they don't just target anyone related to their trauma. They want everyone to suffer. In a sense, they don't see how it's fair for others to live happily while they were wronged. Yeah, like how is it fair for everyone else to have their dreams come true while we were robbed? Suffer like the rest of us, please. They cling to the darkness not just for power, but more for validation and even justification. They feel no sense in correcting their actions or growing from their trauma because they did nothing Wrong. The darkness enables their belief that they have every right to make others suffer just like them while feeling validated in their choices. They don't want to be preached or talked down to, especially by individuals who they believe are no better than them. So of course they're going to expose any amount of darkness, no matter how insignificant and tiny it may be, that lies in their target's hearts, just to knock them off their light-filled pedestal. They feel like the darkness is setting them free while enabling their behavior, giving them the justification they deserve, but they're ignoring one major aspect. All of them are being used. Mayura is the biggest example, as she turned to the darkness soon after her fight with Alice. In her head, she did nothing wrong. Was she feeling a bit confused and insecure when she discovered Kyo's photo under Alice's pillow? Absolutely. Was convincing her sister to date another classmate just to dissuade her affections away from her boyfriend to extreme? Definitely. Does she think she was in the wrong though? Of course not.
Perhaps I did get a little carried away.
I mean, despite what I said about Alice causing this mess to begin with, that does not excuse Mayura's behavior, even before she turned to darkness. Mayura lived in this little bubble while not realizing she had massive main character syndrome. She's the perfect student, receiving a ton of praise for her beauty, intelligence, and athleticism. She earned the title of the Golden Child and felt that she worked hard enough to receive her happily ever after with Kyo. From her perspective, she sees Kyo as the perfect gentleman and Alice as the shy baby sister she has to look after. So naturally, she doesn't understand why Kyo would explode on her classmate like that, and why Alice just wouldn't be honest with her. She thought she was doing Alice a favor by being blunt about her inactions, but... Okay, now she's confused. Her own little sister just wished her to disappear? After everything she did for Alice, why would this happen to her? Not only that, but now her own boyfriend won't open up to her. She's seeking confirmation of his feelings for her in a very abrupt manner, which naturally pushes him away. She notices, however, that he can easily open up to Alice, so what is she doing wrong? I mean, it's one thing for her to be completely oblivious to other people's feelings when she's in her own little bubble, but it really doesn't help that the darkness is using this messy situation to manipulate her.
No. You did nothing wrong. You did everything you could to look after her, and this is how she repays you? What a despicable sister you have. She's just jealous, you know. You've done everything right, and she just wants to take everything you've worked hard towards. And now that she's gotten rid of you, there's nothing stopping her from taking your beloved Kyo. Use Marum, and you can fix all of this. Your sister will be punished for her misdeeds, and you can have Kyo all to yourself. Take this opportunity. You deserve it. Take it. It's yours.
I need a parent.
She is now in a Marum echo chamber, enabling her thoughts to take what she feels is hers. She will not give up being Kyo's girlfriend, and she blames her pain and anguish and all this suffering on Alice. But yet again, she's oblivious to the obvious. The darkness only enables her selfish desires because she is their pawn. A tool that'll eventually awaken Daruvia and plunge the entire world into darkness. But hey, at least Kyo won't be dating Alice after everyone's dead. Good job, Mayura. This is the beauty of Alice 19th. It's not just a simple light versus darkness story, it acknowledges the complications of human nature and how we base our decisions. It also humanizes both light and darkness with these characters. The Mara masters who choose darkness had understandable reasons enabling their choices. They honestly come off as relatable, which makes you wonder how Alice and Kyo could still hold their stances in the light. But then it becomes clear that these poor victims of darkness are just being used for a much bigger scheme. The darkness feeds on their insecurities, luring them with the power to seek their vengeance. But it'll all be for nothing if Daruvia plunges the world into darkness. So is that something that the Lotus Masters have to keep telling themselves? That they could just easily defy the darkness by remembering the fact that, oh hey, darkness is cool and all, but you know what's not cool? Watching everything you've ever known and loved suffer for all of eternity in absolute darkness.
Jesus, where is my power?
So yeah, just don't forget that little tidbit and you're gonna be just fine, champ. Good job.
Okay, yeah, there is that notion, but that's not the ultimate solution. What truly empowers Alice and the other masters is one thing: acceptance. There will always be darkness in our hearts, no matter how hard we try to deny it. We have all sinned. No one is perfect, but our sins, our darknesses, will never, ever define who we are. Accept what you've done. Learn from it. Don't forget it. Grow from it. Become a stronger version of yourself that would never, ever, ever make these kinds of decisions again. And if you make another mistake, that's fine. Learn from it. Grow from it. Be better from it. Just simply learn from it and strive to do better. And don't let others pull you down to their level just because you have sinned just like them. Darkness will never be an excuse. It can only enable bad behavior and cause more damage. Accept that everyone has some form of darkness in their hearts while demonstrating empathy and compassion. Acceptance. That is the true lesson of Alice 19th. If anime industries are looking back for potential stories that deserve an anime, I've been preaching about this for years, just saying. Does it have a few questionable moments that may dissuade the decisions? I mean, it depends. Hear me out. Please take these with a grain of salt, please, because these can be edited. Please. So they may have to edit down Frey's behavior towards Alice because he's a bit,
So, mon chéri, we can do away with the dull preliminaries.
Sir, simmer down now.
Just simmer down now.
His invasive behavior can be overwhelming, but it was written during a time where his forwardness was seen as comedic. Those were the times, and, he also had feelings for his cousin. That part can be edited out, right? Right? Please do. The story can also come off as a bitchy sister turning evil because she wants all the senpai's attention for herself, while ignoring all the context I just mentioned above. Rewind if you need to listen to it again. But I hope that won't be the case, as Alice 19th is a lot more than just a girl being a bitch to her sister. There's also the problematic use of, S.A.? Hi, Mr. YouTube. I'm gonna walk around this. Bear with me. I know. Given the context, these methods are used mostly to affect the mental fortitudes of Alice and Kyo as they endure endless rumors and bullying from their classmates, which is exactly what Mayura wanted. It's still a touchy scenario that can be triggering to some, but I can at least understand why it's used in the story. The one final element that may come off as a problem is Kyo's mother defending his father, despite how his drunken behavior harms her. Yikes. I get what she's trying to say, that she sees the good in him and believes that when things improve that he'll also improve, but yeah, abuse should never be excused, just saying. Regardless of everything I just stated, I still believe Alice 19th deserves an anime of its own. Look, in this current state, our world could use a few more stories of hope and acceptance. A lot of the media that has been produced lately focuses a lot on guilt, enablement, and escapism. Songs that encourage bad behavior, stories that tie in guilt-ridden messages aimed towards certain demographics, dozens upon dozens of anime isekais encouraging people to just escape reality, not that I blame them, and just other forms of entertainment not necessarily doing enough to inspire us. At least, not as much as they used to. And I'm not saying all forms of media need to be positive and inspiring, far from it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm not seeing enough of it. At least, not as much as I used to see back when I was a kid. To me, this is a remarkable, unforgettable story, teaching us about how our words and actions have a lot more effect on others than we could ever comprehend. But with courage and empathy, anyone, no matter what's lying in their hearts, can inspire others to do better. It also assures us that our negative emotions are still a part of us, but it can never truly define us unless we allow them to. This is an empowering and inspiring story I hope more people get to see. Can I also briefly mention the diverse characters in the story? Yeah, this takes place in Japan, but Marum affects the entire world. So Alice and Kyo receive help from masters who are from Norway, China, and America! Fuck yeah! Guys, this is Billy McDowell. Please give this an anime. I need Billy animated, come on! Overall, I wasn't even editing my video when this was announced. I finished the script, recorded my lines, and boom! Dengeki Daisy announced! How many years? Oh, come on, please! Wait, how many manga from that old list I made actually got anime? 2! 2 of them got anime. I'm so proud of them. Anyways, overall, Alice 19th may have its flaws, but I still believe it deserves its own anime. It's a unique story with outstanding artwork combining mythical fantasy with modern touches. Definitely some of Yu Watase's best work in both story and art. If you'd like to read the story for yourself, you can visit Viz Media's website to either find physical copies or digital downloads through numerous apps. As a whole, I do wish Yu Watase had more recognition and more adaptations. I mean, I truly believe most of her stories deserved adaptations aside from Alice 19th. Imadoki Nowadays is a delightful story against bullying while bridging the gap between social classes. Fushigi Yugi actually got 2 prequels with the previous priestesses, so they definitely deserve their own adaptations. Sakura Gari... Okay, maybe that one's a little too dark. I wouldn't say no to it though, it's still a good story. But out of all of her stories, I really hope Alice 19th gets its own adaptation and the recognition it deserves. If you'd like to check out my most favorite manga of all time and reading a story about a shy girl gaining the courage to save her sister and the world from darkness, I cannot recommend enough Alice 19th. I guess, in the meantime, I'll just have to settle with putting Alice and Kyo in Tomodachi Life. They love each other, I swear.
No, Susie, don't walk in the road!
Look, Mom, I made it!
I am a Stegosaurus.
L is for lovers who love one another. A is for ass, of which I like to eat.
Sometimes we really suck at this relationship stuff, huh?
It's because you're an asshole.
Makes one know one, bitch.
From first-hand experience, I can tell you now she's an absolute bitch. Shut up, bitch.
I was meant to be yours. We were meant to be one. Don't give up on me now. Finish what we begun.
Oh my gosh, have you ever killed a man?
Have you?
I mean, I've killed monsters.
Well, then you're halfway there.
Pay attention, or else stay with me for Norwegian detention.
I'll just be over here, ruling in hell.
Daddy issues?
I heard that.
If I tell her that I love him, she'd be silently resigned. He'd be mine. She would say I'm fine. She'd be lying.
I'm gonna get exposed.
Exposed in what way?
My morals.
I'm just a simple farmer. Name's Billy West.
Billy West. I'm here to convince you to do sin. Come with me. Steal candy from babies and small businesses. I'm not talking about Walmart.
I will never do such a thing. I'll sin in my own way.
Don't worry about it, Timmy. My dreams were shattered years ago.
How many years ago?
How old are you?
Luigi, I just want to touch you all over your manly chest. Want to bury my face in your breast.
Gary? I thought what we had was special!
Say, fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?
Owing to his father's disappearance, Gabe has some...
daddy issues.
I sure hope I don't get hit by a car.
Lord help the mister who comes between me and my sister. And Lord help the sister who comes between me and my man.
Emotional damage.
Maybe you could stop being such a little bitch.
I know it's difficult for that blissful blonde brain of yours to comprehend that someone like him could actually choose someone like me. But it's happened. It's real. And you can wave that ridiculous wand all you want. You can't change it. He never belonged to you. He doesn't love you, and he never did. He loves me.
Rule number 95, kid. Concentrate. Rule number 96. Aim.
Join us, Luke. Turn to the backside of the Force.
What?
The dark side. Turn to the to the long day.
Darkness is the heart's true essence.
That's not true. The heart may be weak, and sometimes it may even give in. But I've learned that deep down there's a light that never goes out.
The world isn't split into good people and Death Eaters. We've all got both light and dark inside of us. What matters is the part we choose to act on. That's who we really are.
Well, now you know which manga I want as an anime. I've been saying it for years and I'll never shut up until it happens. But yeah, hopefully this review gets my point across. Please give Alice 19th an anime. Anyways, which manga from the past do you believe deserves its own anime? Red River, Hana Kimi, Parasyte, and much more have all proven that it's never too late to get an anime. So let's see your suggestions in the comments down below. Special thanks go to my Patreon supporters. Who knows how the algorithm will treat this video, but I can still make whatever videos I want thanks to your amazing support. And of course, thank you to everyone for watching this video about me begging for this manga to get an anime. No, seriously, thank you. More awesome videos will be on the way, so stay tuned to Anime America.